Guys, I'm Alex and this is Alex in the City and we're here again
Dun, 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 dun.
with the amazing Josephine. Hello.
How are you, Alex? You're looking so pretty. Ain't she pretty?
I am cold because we're in Columbus Circle and it's super cold. People are yelling.
we
Oh my God,
surviving.
that's New York.
That
People
is
are
New
yelling.
York.
Yes, New York. That's me.
Yes,
New York. How you doing?
That's us. That's us. Yeah.
How you doing, New York?
I can see that, man. We're all New York.
Working hard for that money.
That's right, well, get that paper,
Oh, yeah.
baby. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Have a
I'm
good
trying to
one.
steal the show. I ain't trying
Yes, New York, yes.
to show you how to do that
New York.
thing.
New York.
This is why I'm here. It's for those kind of interactions. All
Yes.
that is inspiring and energetically contagious.
Yes, the energy in the city is absolutely amazing.
Who of them will come to be?
What about you? This
Oh my
whole
gosh.
thing.
This whole thing under all of these hair that I need to cut and get a weed whacker.
No.
Well, it's been, the last time I saw you was maybe 2 years ago now.
Probably, yeah.
I was about 3 years ago.
Really?
Am I that
Already?
old?
Oh my God.
So I was getting ready to go back to Miami because I was filming a pilot for a reality show for WeTV. We did it. It was called My Life is a Telenovela. It
Oh.
aired on WeTV all of 2017.
Nice.
And that was an amazing roller coaster. They actually offered to pay for my boob job or extensions or fake lips. And
How many things have you?
no, I did nothing. And they're like, don't you want bigger breasts like as a Latina? I was like, no, I like my weird avocado boobs. I don't need anything more. So it was very interesting because it was, the premise of that reality show was about the soap opera actresses in Miami. Most of them were very well known and I was the new girl from New York that was very petite and not that Latina. Do you know what I mean? But it was great. It was
You
a
said
wonderful.
Latina to me.
I know, right? I kind of emphasize that accent because people laugh. But it was great. It was a great opportunity. A beautiful cast of amazing actors and women, and a big learning process. And then after that, I decided to release my own music. So I have now 2 singles on iTunes. Help me buy shampoo. It's called "As Long as You're Home" by Josephine Phoenix, or "Some Things" as well, Josephine Phoenix, on iTunes and Google Play.
Who of them will come to be?
I'm going to sing. As long as you're home, when your shift is over, we'll turn off our phones and lay out. As long as you're home, with your hands all over my face, my heart, my bones, I'll be forever yours.
Nice. I don't have gloves, so you would hear.
I would hear
it. Okay, that's amazing. So you can actually buy it on iTunes.
Yeah, it was great. I was one of the only few female band leaders in Miami. Miami is a really small city, and most of the time people are in cover bands, meaning usually there is either a guitar player or a pianist who owns a band and looks for girls to sing for them.
Yeah.
But I am a woman who looks for boys to play for me.
Yeah. And
So it was wonderful to be the boss, you know? I had to make my own flyers, I had to find the venues, I had to pay my musicians, I had to negotiate my rates. I was in charge of the set list, and my musician boys, they're like my brothers. They help me see what's shorter, what's happening now, what's a really good oldie song. But as a woman, it was tedious because you have to do all these things, and I'd rather just sing, but sometimes you have to put the big boy pants on and make
yeah, like a boss lady.
like a boss lady.
Awesome. How was the backlash? How was the outcome of the telenovela?
The reality show was interesting. We only did 1 season. I think that
Did you get like fans or a lot of followers or something?
I got a lot of emails that they liked the kind of persona that I was portraying. I was the Hispanic American.
Were you portraying it or was it you?
Well, I mean, the whole premise of it is that I was in Miami trying to be a telenovela star. You know, because at the end of the day, even though I don't really know that industry, the novelas, but it's the only thing you can do in Miami artistically and really make a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
Economically independent with some kind of notoriety, some kind of fame. That's the industry. So I was like, well, even though I don't know about this world, I have to be a part of it if I want to be successful. If I want to buy my parents a home and I want to afford shampoo. So yes, shampoo. It wasn't my number one thing to do as an actress. Shampoo. CHAMPU. Shampoo.
That's gonna be hashtag of the episode. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
But there wasn't a backlash. It was just very, very Hispanic and very over the top, and of course a lot of violence and hair pulling that I had nothing to do with. I kept running away. There's actually a scene where they're all fighting like crazy at a beautiful restaurant, high end that I could never afford to go in myself, and they start fighting and throwing plates.
About what?
I forget now. It was just a lot of drama. So the point is that they're all fighting and throwing away all this amazing food, and while they were fighting, I was going to everyone's plate eating all of their food. The lobster that I could never afford, the octopus.
Wait, they didn't buy you a meal?
No, they do buy it, but I wasn't gonna let their food go to waste
Yeah.
too. They can go fight. I'll go eat your food. Go ahead, do your drama. Yeah.
So you don't like drama? You're not a drama
No,
person.
and it's funny because the people that were there at the restaurant, they're actually high-end, normal clientele, and they all applauded after the fight, thinking that it was like a movie and we were actors when they were just dramatic Hispanics.
Oh wow. Why do you think they chose you then? I think they were looking for like those dramatic people who will bring them audience and.
Well, I
What
remember
was so
them.
different about you?
I remember them saying that they wanted to do kind of like not like a makeover show, but to bring me in as a New York theater girl, petite, and maybe at the end have breasts or comb my hair and end up landing a novela role and becoming that Latina sex bot. But since I didn't agree to all those things because
That's not you.
It's not me. My mom actually has breast implants and they look fabulous. So I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I actually asked them if I can get a rain check so when I have kids and they suck the life out of my boobs, maybe then they can pay for it. But in the meantime, they're fine.
Yeah, of course. Avocados are fine.
Avocados are
Leave
fine.
them alone. Okay, what else happened? So
What else?
The telenovela thing, the reality show.
Yes, I released 2 songs after the reality show. And then I had, I almost became Gloria Stefan on Broadway. I was in the final callbacks to be Gloria Stefan and it didn't work out. But it did inspire me to go back to school. So I was one of the oldest kids. I still consider myself a kid, okay? One of the oldest kids at the Stella Adler Musical Theater Intensive. Only 32 people get chosen, and so I was one of them, luckily. And we spent, 7 weeks, Monday through Friday, like 8 to almost 8 every day. And it was an amazing experience to go back to school. It was something I always wanted to do and never got to.
That's one of the best schools in the world.
It was
oh my God.
orgasmic.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
was intense.
Just to get a spot there, it's freaking
It was
amazing.
beautiful, and because of that school, I really believe in, and because of your intentions energetically, I landed my first musical lead. Right after that, I became Queenie in a musical called The Wild Party, which is all jazz, 1920s, back in Miami. Shout out to Area Stage Company! Yeah!
Yay! Whoever you are, yay!
They're the people that believed in me to be the lead of The Wild Party.
Awesome.
And it was amazing. I was singing like 28 solos a night for a whole month. And it was a cast of crazy 1920s jazz, live orchestra. I mean, it was a dream come true. It was
Wow.
amazing. I'm very, very grateful, very happy.
Like that sounds amazing.
Yeah, and of course, I got paid much less than I did on the reality show, but it was tenfold. It kept me more alive and it made me feel more present. Because when you do something that you know you love, and it's amazing as an artist, I'm sure you understand.
Yeah.
When you know you are meant for something, like I know I was meant to entertain, it's a bigger picture. I think the arts, like modeling or hosting or acting or singing or writing, it's a service to the community. You know, you help people either relate to you so they don't feel alone. You either help them with escapism, they're laughing and thinking about other things other than their life. And it really is a service, and I love making people feel good. I could have been an escort agent, but I decided not to. So I'd rather be a singer or an actress.
So this whole monologue is about to go on my t-shirt.
Yes!
It's really important what you just said.
You have to
Love
keep
it.
giving, you know, like I'm very much a bohemian, and I believe in just always giving the best and love. I discovered a lot of things at the Stella Adler School. I discovered this thing called unconditional love, and I thought I was only gonna discover that when I had a kid. And it's just about letting things flow, surrender and trust, and just breathe it out, bro. It's amazing.
Be yourself, surround yourself with energetic, positive people who support you, first of all.
Right.
Believe in that what's supposed to happen is going to happen, and we're going to get there in a second, because something happened to you that was supposed to happen, and you
Yeah.
just brought the whole energy of the world towards you.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And also what you said is really important, that we do need arts. We need bohemian artistic people like we are,
Yes.
for others to feel better, to appreciate life more, to notice more stuff about their lives, about in general life.
Yeah.
So-
Art has a way of really creating a multi-dimensional world inside
dialogue.
of you, and a dialogue. It you know, there's all this talk, right? Politics. I'm gonna get there for just 4 seconds.
Oh my God.
There's all this talk, especially with New York City and all of us liberal Democrats here in the artistic world. But one thing is for sure, no matter where your politics lie, this presidency and Trump has defined people's purposes. If before they were like, yay, equal rights, now they're like, I believe in equal rights.
Now we went women's rights, for example, women's rights, we went 30 years ahead right
Yes.
now. Like we're fighting, where the whole freaking sex got together and was like, no, we're gonna fight for ourselves.
People have rooted themselves in what they believe in now more than ever.
Yes.
And art is a huge part of our message, of our global unity. It's beautiful. I love being an artist.
Yeah.
Even though I'm starving half the time and that's the only way I keep skinny. But it's wonderful and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, same here. I'm skinny, but for different reasons. I do like to eat. Just in case my dad is watching it, I am eating that. I'm skinny for different reasons.
That's awesome.
So what about the thing I just said about the energy, about bringing everything to you? Something happened to you lately.
Yes. So I started meditating. I went through this thing called personal Armageddon, right? So I was almost Gloria Stefan. I was training to be an airline stewardess. I was living with a boyfriend that I had for 5 years in a beautiful bohemian apartment that we found together. And in 10 days, I lost it. All of it. The relationship ended. I left and I went back to my parents. I got fired from my job, and even though I was in the final 5 to be Gloria Stefan, I didn't get that role either. So in 10 days, everything was stripped. I'm alive!
I know, but it must have been the worst 10 days of your life.
It was really bad, but I'm here now.
Yeah, you are here.
So all of that, there's this beautiful
Wow.
word I discovered, which you're gonna love this word. You might already know this word. Do you know this word? You might not.
What's the word?
I'm gonna tell you the word.
What's the word?
It's called pronoia. I'm actually not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it's P-R-O-N-O-I-A, pronoia. And it's basically, nothing happened to me. Everything happens for me. And it's a belief that the world is conspiring not against you, they're conspiring for you.
Yeah.
So anything, of course, you're not talking about unfortunate things like child hunger or rape or murder, of course
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah.
But in the different aspect, anything that happens to you, you can be a victim. It's happening to clear the way, to make a new life. My name is Josephine Phoenix, rising from the ashes.
Yeah.
So yes, it was horrible. I felt so rejected and so empty, and I wondered a lot, but then that's the only way that I discovered a deeper part of myself, and I was more resilient. And how am I going to be an example? What does this mean as a woman, as a single woman, as an artistic woman? What does this mean? What am I gonna do about this? So I started meditating, and I started riding a lot of bicycle, and I got a nice little big butt with that. I love it. And I started thinking, what do I want? What do I want? Where do I feel good? I feel good giving. I feel good loving. And that's how I came to the conclusion, well, if I always wanted to go to school, I have nothing tying me down.
Yeah.
The money that I would have put into the rent or into the relationship or into whatever, I took it to go to school. Because I said I want to be on stage in a musical theater environment, when I got to school, I graduated on Friday and I was the lead on Monday.
Oh my God.
I graduated on Friday from New York. I took a plane on Saturday and I was told that I was the lead, and I started rehearsals on Monday.
Wow.
So I spent 4 months immersed in this musical theater world, 2 at school and 2 in this musical. So then I started thinking, so what do I do now? Okay, now I know this is what I want. I love this. So I started simmering, well, maybe next year, 2018, I should be on a cruise ship again. Since I don't have a home or a car or a dog or a boyfriend or a baby or anything else, I can go on a ship and save my money and travel while I can. So I did a bunch of auditions. I got a lot of rejection. I sent tapes. I went to a couple auditions here in New York. And then one day, I'm meditating and riding my bike and manifesting, man, I really want this. I really want this. And I meet this amazing gentleman at a cafe. he must be 75, 80 years old. And he basically comes up to me and he's like, you have a walk. Is that walk artistic? And I was like, yes, it is artistic. And we started chatting, and it's one of those things that I call a yes year, right? So I'm gonna say yes to a lot of things that I would have otherwise.
Same here, 2008 yes year.
I would be shy or think I don't deserve it or be embarrassed. No, I'm just gonna say yes. So we start chatting about Cuba, and he tells me these stories. He was a Harvard professor. He was the dean of a college. He was a ballroom Latin dancer.
Oh my God!
All
what
these
an
beautiful
interesting
stories.
guy.
And then he's like, would you like to have lunch with me one day? And I was like, and then I had reservations because this man is 80 years old and I'm 30. People are gonna think things. But you know what? It doesn't matter what people think if I know what the truth is. And if my truth is innocent and my intention is pure, then why should I care?
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
It's your life.
here. So I'm like, why not have lunch with this amazing man that could teach me so many things and tell me stories about life that I might need to hear. Fast forward, we go to lunch, and it turns out that he is on a committee of a cruise ship directory or something to that extent. I'm not very good with those kind of words. And he puts me in contact with the president of one of the biggest cruise lines out of Italy. And basically that day I sent them my music videos, my resume, and here I am. I have a cruise ship job. It was just that easy. The next day I was on a Skype session with Switzerland.
Oh my God.
And they're like, oh, so, and I started negotiating. Do you want a band? How much is your rate? When do you want to get on board? Da 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 da. So I am now going to be singing in the Caribbean and Mexico from April to August with my trio.
Oh my God.
Because I called it. And my intention is true and my truth is pure. And here I am loving every bit of it, and everything happens for me, not against me.
Who of them will come to be?
As an artist, you get so many rejections, you know? And then on top of that, you're a woman. So then you have all these standards to live up to. And then on top of that, you have a biological clocks. Are you gonna have a family? Are you gonna get married? You know? And there are so many reasons that I could be having a pity party, you guys. I'm 33 years old. I could be like, but I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna be.
Who of them will come to be?
The dead
Where
animal.
is the dead animal?
This is a vintage coat. I didn't buy it.
There is a dead animal on her coat. We're trying to investigate.
Not, but it's my
Wasn't it?
aunt's. It's my. I don't know. It's maybe it's not.
Your
Maybe
aunt
it's faux
had fur?
Maybe it's faux fur.
Your aunt was covered in fur. This is your aunt's fur.
This is my aunt's fur.
That was her body.
You want to touch me? Touch me.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's nice.
Yeah, my leg shake. Hey.
Who of them will come to be?
The highlight of 2017 for you, artistically. Now we're changing the game.
Artistically, I made Renee Zellweger laugh in a scene.
What?
By making Trump jokes.
Yes.
And the director loved it so much that they kept it, and I got a principal contract in a movie with her in a scene and Sarah Jessica Parker. So it was amazing that I was in a scene with Oscar winner. Like, what?
Okay.
Yeah. So that was my absolute
You have
best.
to believe, man. You have to believe,
Yeah,
and you have to be benevolent in your actions, which is all good-heartedness, not talking bad about people, not comparing yourself, but you have to have like
It's difficult,
love
though.
for
You know,
yourself.
it's difficult. It comes with time, and I think meditation helped you a lot.
It
no?
did so much.
How do you learn how to meditate? I would love to meditate, but I don't know how you do it. I'm very, like, I want to move, ADHD, you know.
I know, me too.
Who of them will come to be?
You know, really, it was a friend who recommended it to me. I was crying nonstop. You know, it was a lot of rejection, personal, professional. My independence was taken away because I was back at home with my mom and dad, no money. It was hard. And I just sat under a tree that I thought was my favorite tree, and it was an app. It's an app. I will show you the app. It is called Insight Timer. You should sponsor me, Insight Timer.
Yes, you should.
It is free. And the wonderful thing about this app is that you type in what you need and it will give you options from all these different people and teachers across the world.
Examples.
Affirmations. If I needed to feel worthy, I'd write affirmations, and all these 5 minutes, 10 minutes, how much time do you have? With music, without music. And it'll tell, like, it would just give you all these things, and then you put it in your headphones and you sit down and it says, I am enough, I am worthy, I am beautiful, and then it just repeats. There'll be another one about being grateful. What are you grateful about? There'll be another one about manifesting.
What about motivation?
motivation. I mean, that app really did help me, and every day I'd sit under that tree after my little bike ride and find something that made me more peaceful, and it made me realize that I can't keep being a victim. Like, I'm always blaming other people, and why? How is that a solution? You just have to breathe whatever bad thing you're going through. You have to just breathe through it and know that it's not gonna last.
Yeah.
And everyone gets out of it. And what else has happened is that because of these bad things that happen to you, you get to help so many people along your life later on. You know, you get to tell if someone was going through a horrible breakup a couple of years from now, I can be able to tell them, listen, this is what I went through. And you're gonna be able to help someone later.
Yeah.
Which is why we're freaking here, people. We're here for everyone else, for each other, for ourselves. And you have to learn how to be a person by yourself. Like, I took a year being single, and I loved it. I loved being alone. What do I like? What do I love? I don't have to wear makeup today.
You learn about yourself a lot.
And I grew. And without that, I am the woman I've always wanted to be, and I'm still in progress. But I am so different. And you need to say people don't change. Your essence doesn't change.
Yeah.
But you can grow. And it's
Okay,
wonderful.
what's the difference between you now and a you 2 years ago?
2 years ago, I was very needy. I was very demanding. And I was very much a victim. Oh, nothing ever works out for me. Why am I doing this? I believe in myself. Why don't you love me? Why don't you love me? I need you. I mean, I've always been a little independent. You know, I've always loved my career, maybe more so than having a traditional relationship, married with kids. I've had the opportunity. I've been very lucky to have people that have loved me and have proposed to me and all that. And I'm like, no, I need to be on stage. So I need to concentrate on that. But I lost my train of thought.
How have you changed?
Oh. You know, I surrender and trust. Whatever happens, I'm not here to persuade anyone to change their mind about me, to make you love me so I can get on stage. I come in, I do my job. I do a role, I sing a song, and if they don't like it, it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I keep improving every day, and just surrender and trust. Like, it's so cliche, but if you just surrender and trust, you know that everything's gonna fold, and it's gonna make sense one day. It's just gonna make sense one day. It is. And it's not our job to blame people or to be angry at people or to like justice. Oh, they made me suffer. Now I have to make you suffer and I'm gonna tell people about you. That's not my job. My job here is to forgive, understand, and love. And if anything else is happening outside, that's a variable that has something to do with me. I gotta worry about me. What am I doing wrong? What did I do right? What are my flaws? How do I help that? That's it. It's how I've changed.
Who of them will come to be?
I want to ask you about the differences between
So soft here.
Miami,
Rub your face on it.
Miami and New York. What's the difference?
Well, musically, I've never really had a band in New York, but I had a band in Miami. Miami has, I would say, maybe 15 venues that you can play. Yeah, not many venues. I mean, if you add Fort Lauderdale, that's very different. Fort Lauderdale is about 40 minutes north of Miami. But it's actually it's almost like the same 7 bands play all these 15 places.
Oh.
And especially if you're like Spanish, Hispanic, Spanglish music, you work all the time. But when it comes to strictly American music, there's not many places to play.
Okay, I have a question at this point.
Yes.
My cousin, a Spanish cousin, she lives in Miami. She's a great singer.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you start? How do you start? How do you...
You really do start with these cover bands that play at these very big places like Blue Martini and bars like that. You start there, so you get a feel of how it is and how it works. And little by little, you start meeting musicians. And if you want to make your own project, that's how you do. And then you go to the place and be like, hey, I want to play here on Friday nights. This is my music. What's your rate? This is my rate. You know, and you start negotiating that. But New York is a whole different world. Come on, I was in a couple of bands here, but they weren't my bands.
Yeah.
I was part of an Ecuadorian folk band that was Afro folk music.
So random.
It was great, and I played in the subways and played at a couple of Ecuadorian festivals. I played for the Ecuadorian president. It was amazing, and people are so much more receptive, I think, in New York than in Miami. Miami is a strange town. There's a lot of heart there, but New York is just, I'm biased. I'm just very biased. I just love what New York gives me. There's so much openness and acceptance and versatility.
More than 15 venues.
And vivacity. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So it's great. Miami's growing though. Wynwood, Miami is becoming a place that, if Miami was like that when I was younger, it'd probably be different for me.
Who of them will come to be?
So many beautiful and talented men, women, whatever it is, dogs, cats, trans, all of it. They're all here with a story, and those stories should be heard.
That's true.
Who of them will come to be?
We end ended up talking about real life
Because
stuff.
this is what life is about, and music and acting is about what is happening in our lives. You have to kind of correlate, like art imitating life, life imitating art. How do people get through breakups? How do people get through rejection? How many movies inspire you? How many songs just make you feel like you want to dance and you want to forget about it? Dude, that's what it's all about. That's why art is around. It's because of whatever tragedies we're going through. How many beautiful stories are being told out there that help people understand? That's what it's about. That's it. That's it. Shout out to Marisa from the Lower East Side. That's it.
Who of them will come to be?
Say, who wants vitamin D? I want vitamin D.
And with this, on this positive note, I would like to finish the episode of Alex in the City. I was Alex. This is Josephine Phoenix. Check out her iTunes account.
JosephinePhoenix.com for the latest things that I'm up to. I'm making comedy videos now.
Oh, I have
Instagram.
my own website too now. It's alexrack.com.
Yes, girl. We're
Because
doing
I'm
it.
also an actress and not only a host of this awesome YouTube show.
Another multidimensional woman coming at you from New York City.
Exactly, because we have positive energy. We're artists and
Pronoia.
Exactly.
Pronoia.
Pronoia.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
Yes.